What's up? What's up? Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome back to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. My name is Jason Ingram. So, ROH Death Before Dishonor 2023 is in the books. So I wanted to finally get on here after finishing up watching it earlier today. Want to give a review of this show and dive into all the action that took place, which overall I definitely enjoyed this year's Death Before Dishonor. I felt like it was a very solid card and a lot of matches that had plenty of time spaced across each match. I would say there was a decent amount of time for a lot of the matches. But let's get started with the pre-show, the 0 hour pre-show, which started at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, the venue of Death Before Dishonor this year, this was at the Cure Insurance Arena in Trenton, New Jersey. That's the site for this year's pay-per-view. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's run through the pre-show first. Alrighty, let me get my graphic up. Here we go. Alright, the 0 hour pre-show. Okay, so we had 4 total matches for the Death Before Dishonor 0 hour pre-show. So the first match that happened was the Pure Rules match. We had Josh the Goods Woods going up against Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. Now, to keep it real with you, I know Tracy Williams has been on a couple of previous ROH pre-shows for, their recent pay-per-views, but it's been kind of a bummer seeing him on the losing end. I mean, after all, Hot Sauce Tracy Williams is a former Ring of Honor World Television Champion. And of course, is no slouch, especially with the amount of success he's had with the Foundation a good long while back. But anyway, he went up against Josh the Goods Woods. And I have to say, it was a great back and forth match. Not bad for the opening match of the pre-show. Had a very interesting finish as Josh the Goods Woods had Hot Sauce Tracy Williams in kind of like a fisherman's guillotine choke on the ropes, like, kind of in between the ropes. But the thing is, because in a Pure Rules match, after using up 3 rope breaks, you no longer can have rope breaks. So therefore, even if you're in a submission and even if you have the rope grabbed, it will still be valid. And sure enough, that ended up working in Josh Woods' favor, as he had that guillotine on Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, even though he had was on the ropes, which should be a rope break, but he had used all 3 of his rope breaks. So therefore, he did end up submitting, and Josh the Goods Woods wins the opening Pure Rules match for 0 hour. But it was a pretty decent match. It was definitely a pretty decent match between the two. Both traded a lot of strikes, a lot of submission attempts and such. So, it was pretty decent. Okay, next up, we had the tag team match. We had the team of Action Andretti and Darius Martin taking on the Workhorsemen. Of course, the Workhorsemen, JD Drake, Anthony Henry. This was a very exciting match. Of course, I like both tag teams, even though I know Action Andretti's been kind of the filler for Dante Martin since he's still recovering from injury. And like I said, the Workhorsemen I've been a fan of for a long while, and of course they're the current DPW World Tag Team Champions. But this was a great match. Definitely enjoyed it, and I really like the chemistry Action Andretti and Darius Martin have together as a tag team. I feel like it's definitely been quite impressive. They've been able to feed off of each other. And this was a very entertaining back and forth match, but Action Andretti and Darius Martin were able to finish off JD Drake, hitting him with that Whirling Bird Neckbreaker combo, as Ian Riccaboni had said. Got the cover on JD Drake for the 1-2-3. And Action Andretti and Darius Martin pick up the victory. And a good sign of sportsmanship from both teams afterwards. And I just really hope going forward, I really want to see more of the Workhorsemen picking up victories. You know what I mean? Whether it's AEW or ROH, I really want to see them start picking up more victories. I think they definitely need to be built up more and hopefully be in tag title contention at some point, at least before the end of this year. That's what I'm hoping for, but only time will tell. All right, next up we had the ladies in action, as we had legit Leyla Hirsch, which it wasn't too long ago that she returned to the ring, and she took on Trish Adora, which, you know, Trish Adora has been very busy lately, especially on ROH and in the Indies as well. You know, she's even been overseas, so she's been very busy, very busy. So always good to see. And like I said, it's really good to see Leyla Hirsch back in action. Legit Leyla Hirsch, good to see her back. And this was also a very good match. I felt like it started off a little sluggish, but I think by the middle of the match it did start to pick up more, and it was a lot of back and forth action between Leyla and Trish. So middle of the way, it definitely got better, but started off a little sluggish. But legit Leyla Hirsch was able to eventually submit Trish Adora with a cross arm breaker, her signature, her finishing submission. Got the tap out, and legit Leyla Hirsch, undefeated since returning from injury so far. So she's on a roll. And I know she had the post-match attack, putting that arm bar back on Trish Adora until Sky Blue came out for the save. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that going forward. And then the final match of 0 Hour came down to singles match between AR Fox and Shane Taylor. And this was definitely worthy of being the main event of the pre-show, as they both went back and forth. I mean, hard-hitting, high-flying. I mean, AR Fox even got the early jump on Shane Taylor, and just, it was a very impressive match. And I like both men. Definitely. And, you know, I've met AR Fox. I've been following AR Fox ever since Dragon Gate USA. You know, he's also competed in Lucha Underground, Evolve, like a lot of history there. But yeah, this was a great back and forth match, and I even thought Shane Taylor had it for a moment after he hit Welcome to the Land, but AR Fox kicked out. Or actually, no, he grabbed the rope. So, it was definitely back and forth. A lot of high-flying action from AR Fox. And then he was able to eventually put away the big man, hitting him with a 450 splash and then covering him for the 1-2-3. And AR Fox successful in the ROH Death Before Dishonor 0 Hour main event. So, good showing by him, but awesome match. Definitely an awesome match. But that does it for the 0 Hour pre-show. Before we hop into the main card, here's a quick word from the sponsor on Game Beauty. As you continue to watch and enjoy Blitzball Champ gaming content here on the U to the Tube, be sure you take a moment to check out the link to the description for Game Beauty. Game Beauty offers a variety of video game themed makeup and cosmetic products. They offer items such as eyeshadow palettes, elemental pearl highlighters, eyeshadow brushes, and even non-makeup items such as these graphic t-shirts. They also have collaboration items like this Persona 5 Royal Limited Edition makeup collection, as you can see here, which you can get it as a full collection, or you can get different bundles of this collection, as well as different pieces separately. Also, Game Beauty offers free domestic and international shipping to most countries for orders over $60. And be sure to use the promo code Blitzball_champ, all in caps, and you can get 10% off of your order. So be sure to take advantage of that nice little discount. And now, back to our regularly scheduled video. Enjoy. Okay, so let's get ready to shift to the main card for Death Before Dishonor. Here we go. So, to kick off the main card, we had a singles match with some Lucha Libre action, a lot of high flying, as we had Gravity go up against Komander. Now, I have to say, this was a very entertaining match. I especially enjoyed the little, Gravity moonwalking that Gravity was doing, which, definitely fits his character. But just a lot of high-flying goodness in this match, especially with Komander, walking the ropes and doing springboard moves, and both just look really great. I was actually kind of shocked at the finish. I did not expect this finish, but Komander was trying to go for a little bit more extra offense, and it seemed like he was in control, was about to put the nail in the coffin, until Gravity was able to reverse into a small package, or kind of similar to a small package, and pin Komander for the 1-2-3 to pick up the win. And great sign of sportsmanship afterwards, but wow, I did not think Gravity was going to win. Did not see that coming. So congratulations to Gravity, but that was a great opening match for the main card. Definitely enjoyed it. All right, continuing on. Okay, we had our first of many, of 6 title matches. So this was our first of 6 title matches for Death Before Dishonor. We had the ROH World Television Championship on the line as the champ, Samoa Joe, defended against Dalton Castle. Now, of course, Dalton Castle won the Television Championship Eliminator Tournament in order to get this opportunity. Of course, he defeated Shane Taylor in the finals. so here we are. The match was all right for the most part, but you know, the boys definitely, you know, were on the side of Dalton Castle as usual. You know, helping him out, fanning him, and catching him, and all that sort of jazz. And then it got to the point where late in the action, Samoa Joe looked over at Stokely Hathaway as like, dude, you need to do something. You need to do something. And of course, Stokely Hathaway is like on the, I believe it was the team of board of directors for ROH, if I remember correctly. So he ended up stepping in and having the referee remove the boys from ringside. And then it was during that moment Samoa Joe was able to take advantage, hit a low blow on Dalton Castle, and then put him in the coquina clutch. And that was pretty much it, as Samoa Joe submits Dalton Castle with that coquina clutch and retains the ROH World Television Championship. And like I said, he's been a very dominant champion, and I believe, if I remember correctly, he might be on his way to becoming the longest reigning ROH World Television Champion. I think so. I think he's got a little ways to go, but he might pass the record. He might pass the record, but I'm not too sure. As a matter of fact, while it's on my mind, let me check. Let me actually check, because I'm very curious. Yeah, I'm actually very curious, because, you know, this was his, you know, first time reign, and, you know, originally he had never had this title. Let's see. Oh, no. He's well, actually, okay, so he's actually about to surpass Dragon Lee, because Dragon Lee had the title for 469 days. Samoa Joe has had it for 465. So Samoa Joe's about to surpass Dragon Lee. And then Jay Lethal, like, you know, Jay Lethal had the longest reign at 567 days. So pretty much, if Samoa Joe can get at least a little over 100 more days, so about 3.5 months, if he can hold the title for about 3.5 months, he'll be the longest reigning Ring of Honor television champion. Wow. So they might actually be pushing for that. It's very possible. They could be pushing for that. But we'll have to wait and see. Alrighty, let us continue on. Let's go to the next match, which was a very entertaining and actually one of my top 3 on this card. Alrighty, we had the ROH World Tag Team Championships on the line in a fatal 4-way, which we had the Lucha Brothers, who are the champions, defend against the Kingdom, Best Friends, and Aussie Open. That's right, Aussie Open with a returning Mark Davis, returning back from injury. So you got 4 very great tag teams in this match, and I tell you, this match was all over the place. All 4 teams were showcased really well. Even had a funny segment with the Best Friends where Maria was up on the ring apron, wanted to hug, and she just got deflected, just totally dissed, as Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta ended up hugging each other, giving us what we wanted, giving the fans what they want. But overall, this was an awesome match. All 4 teams looked really solid. It really I mean, the Kingdom came close. Lucha Brothers, it looked like for a moment they were going to retain, but just all four teams looked really solid. But sure enough, they ended up crowning new ROH World Tag Team Champions as Aussie Open hit Trent Beretta with the double clothesline, and then the Coriolis, and then Mr. Kyle Fletcher pins him for the 1-2-3. And in Mark Davis's return match as part of Aussie Open, they become the new ROH World Tag Team Champions. So congratulations to Mark Davis, Kyle Fletcher. Aussie Open, crowns up. But can y'all believe it? In 1 year, they have been the IWGP World Tag Team Champions. They've been the NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions. And now they are the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. So, wow, that's 3 different sets of tag titles they have held this year. And then we have to also remember, they never lost the other 2 sets of tag titles. Remember, they had to vacate them due to Mark Davis's injury. So, I mean, we'll have to see what happens, but I think they got quite a great home and a great fan base in ROH. And I think they'll be very successful. I think they'll have themselves a good tag title run. You know, they have been a tag team that has been on the rise for a good long while. I mean, heck, they were the first ever NJPW Strong Tag Champs. And it didn't take too long for them to get into their second reign. And then, of course, they won the IWGP Tag Team titles. And just, you know, had to vacate both. But look at them. Mark Davis returns, and they're back on top in the tag division in ROH, becoming the new ROH World Tag Team Champions. So I hope they have a good run. I definitely really like them. I hope they have a really solid run. And I think there's a bunch of different tag teams that they could really go up against in ROH. And don't forget, they're also signed to AEW. They are signed to AEW as well. So I expect to see them in AEW as much as ROH. So good stuff. Once again, crowns up. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Okay. Let's continue. Let's move to the, let's see. Oh, yeah. The ROH 6-man titles. Alrighty. So the ROH World 6-man Tag Team Championships. So we had the champs, which were Mogul Embassy. Of course, that's the Machine Brian Cage, Toa Leona, and Bishop Khan. Defending against kind of a random tag team. Well, kind of, sort of. The team of Master Wato, this year's Best of Super Juniors winner. Ryusuke Taguchi, and Leon Ruffin. Of course, we do know that Master Wato and Ryusuke Taguchi have teamed up before, so that's no shocker. But throw Leon Ruffin into the picture makes it quite interesting. But you know, for what it was a pretty good match. You know, it was really good to see, you know, good amount of offense, especially from Ryusuke Taguchi, you know, using his funky weapon constantly. And Leon Ruffin, which, you know, I've seen Leon Ruffin wrestle live a couple of times, especially through Evolve. So very familiar. I definitely like his style. And like I said, Master Wato, you know, he won this year's Best of Super Juniors tournament, which was still a shocker for me. But, you know, I give credit where credit's due. But yeah, this match was alright for the most part. But, I mean, it was a pretty easy pick that Mogul Embassy was going to end up winning. And sure enough, Leon Ruffin took the worst of it at the end as he fell victim to that triple team finisher. Pretty much all three of Mogul Embassy lifted him up and slammed him down like a blanket. And then Toa Leona made the cover for the 1, 2, 3, and Mogul Embassy still your ROH World 6-Man Tag Team Champions. And honestly, I'm not too sure who's going to end up dethroning them, to be honest with you. But guess we'll have to wait and see. All right, let's continue. All right, next up we had the ROH Pure Championship on the line. Of course, this is a Pure Rules match. As the champion, the wrestler Katsuyori Shibata defended against Daniel Garcia. Now, I gotta keep it real with y'all. I gotta really keep it real with y'all. The match was all right, but the dancing from Daniel Garcia is getting to be a little too much. It's getting to be a little too much. Like, I mean, I get it, but just in a match like this, it was just too much. It was really too much. I mean, was doing that a bunch while Shibata was sitting down, and it was even so bad, even when he was put in the sleeper, he was still doing it a little bit while he was in the sleeper. So I just felt like it got excessive, and I feel like it kind of hurt the match a little bit. You know, I mean, I get the every now and then doing all that, but he did it way too much in that match. Way too much. I'm sorry, but it was way too much. But Katsuyori Shibata picked up the victory, put him to sleep, and then hit him with a PK and pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. So Katsuyori Shibata still your ROH Pure Champion. I'm sure he's gonna have it a little while longer. It'll be interesting to see who they build up to be the one to dethrone Shibata, but I'm enjoying his run so far. I think he should have the title for a good while. And, you know, it's always good to see Shibata wrestle anyway, defend that title. Okay. Let's see. Next up. Oh, yeah. This was a pretty big one. We had the fight without honor, as we had the Dark Order of Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, John Silver, taking on the Righteous, made up of Dutch, Vincent, and former Dark Order member Stu Grayson. This was quite a brutal and bloody match, for sure. Quite a brutal and bloody match. I mean, they had that barbed wire, like, board, and just also had nails. There's one that had nails as well. I mean, we saw tables being used, and just, I mean, even John Silver had tacks taped to one of his boots and just kept doing Kawada kicks. I was just like, geez. Evil Uno's mask got ripped up and he got bloodied up. I mean, just, this was a brutal match, for sure. Very brutal match. But when it was all said and done, Stu Grayson ended up being easy pickings for the rest of the Dark Order, as the Dark Order puts him away with that little high cross swinging triple team slam. Evil Uno makes the cover for 1, 2, 3, and Dark Order wins the fight without honor over the Righteous. But it was a pretty bloody and brutal match. Definitely enjoyable, for sure. Okay. Next up was the first part of the supposed double main event. But this was a match that I definitely really enjoyed. All right. We had the ROH World Championship on the line. As the champion, Blackpool Combat Club's Claudio Castagnoli defending against Pac. Now, this was Pac's second match since returning. Of course, he returned for the Blood and Guts match, which he was on the losing end, and then there was the dissension, which led to this match. Overall, definitely a good match. Really, really enjoyed it. It was in my top 3 matches of this card. Enjoyed it from start to finish, but man, that gorilla press slam through the table from Claudio to Pac, man, that was a sick spot. That was a really sick spot. And it was just back and forth. And then it eventually got to the point where Wheeler Yuta came out to provide the distraction. Then Claudio took advantage of said distraction and was able to hit Pac with a running Ricola bomb and pin him for the 1, 2, 3, and Claudio is still your ROH World Champion. And then it looked like they wanted to do some more beatdown on Pac. But then the Lucha Bros came to his aid. So, looks like Death Triangle is back intact. I was kind of wondering if that was going to end, but earlier the Lucha Bros kind of did a heelish move in removing the referee while he was trying to do a 3 count. So, I don't know. I mean, we could see Lucha Brothers, back on the heel side, reuniting with Pac, reuniting Death Triangle, and they could be heels going forward. But looks like Death Triangle's back together. So we'll see what happens with that, but it was still an enjoyable match. Okay, and then finally, the second part of the double main event, which closed out Death Before Dishonor 2023. The ladies, and I believe, ladies and gentlemen, this has made history for ROH. As first ever main event with the ladies to close out the show, or to close out a ROH pay-per-view, because this never happened before until now. But we had the ROH Women's World Championship on the line. As the champion, Athena, who has been on a roll, defends against Willow Nightingale. Now, these two ladies know each other really well. Willow did have a shot at this title before, wasn't able to win. But remember, she did defeat Athena in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. So, this is pretty much the rubber match, running it back in the main event. Now, I have to say, these two ladies tore the roof off the Cure Insurance Arena. I mean, it was back and forth. And these ladies definitely did not let up the entire match. I mean, hard hitting. They even went outside of the ring. Athena even hit 2 eclipses, or O-faces, or whatever they call them now. I still call them eclipses. And even showcased her power, deadlifting Willow Nightingale into a seated powerbomb. I was like, Athena showcasing her power. That's what's up. And of course, Willow Nightingale was hitting her with everything. Power move after power move. Even hit her with the Babe with a power bomb, but yet still Athena kicks out. But then again, Willow kicked out of that first Eclipse. So both ladies kicking out of each other's finishers and such. And it was crazy. It was back and forth. And when it was all said and done, the incredible battle between these ladies ended via referee stoppage as Athena hit one more Eclipse and then transitioned into a crossface and then into kind of like a STF variation, but STF crossface variation where she got a hold of the leg, and Willow was fighting, and then it got to the point where it made its way back into the middle of the ring, and Willow ended up passing out, and the referee had no choice but to stop the match. But yes, Athena, still your ROH Women's World Champion. So I can imagine a lot of folks were really, really banking on Willow winning, but it just didn't go down like that. And Athena, her reign continues. And they did, show each other respect, but then once the cameras went off, Athena did lay out Willow after they went off the air. Just wanted to throw that out there. She did lay out Willow. So Athena's still going to be Athena. But yeah, so we only had one title change. Only one title change tonight. So, yeah. But like I said, it was still a pretty good show. And that was my third top match of this show. But it was just really good to see Athena and Willow in the main event, to close out the show, to close out this pay-per-view. So that was really, really good. And they did an excellent job. Really excellent job. But yeah, another ROH pay-per-view in the books. Really good stuff. But that'll do it for this review video. Don't forget to check out the link to Game Beauty, and let me know what y'all's thoughts are on Death Before Dishonor 2023. What did you think about the matches? What did you think about the outcomes? What did you think about Aussie Open becoming the new ROH World Tag Team Champs? And yeah, just let me know what your thoughts are. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to get ready to pass out. So, for another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube, my name is Jason Ingram. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend, and I will see y'all in the next video. Take care. Peace.